WeatherScope.
Overnight storms and tornadoes leave injuries and damage once again in central Florida. The storm's rain is now headed towards the major cities of the Northeast, while Chicago and other parts of the Midwest are wrapped in heavy snow and high winds, creating whiteout conditions in several places. Good morning and welcome to WeatherScope. I'm Will Annan. It's been a very active morning between severe storms in the southeast and near blizzard conditions in the central part of the country. Now this system is on the move. Looks like New York City could see some rough weather by later this morning into this afternoon, while Chicago continues to get some more heavy snow, at least for now. For the very latest on the windy and now snowy weather, here's Rick Griffin in the Forecast Center.
Thanks, Will. Good morning. Yes, it is a very wintry scene on this Monday, all the way from northern lower Michigan south through Chicago to about St. Louis. And we're talking about 1 to 2 inches of snow per hour. Thunder snow conditions in some locations, thunder and lightning with heavy snow. That's a rather interesting occurrence. Happened in Chicago this morning. Blowing and drifting, temperatures are falling, wind chills are below zero and they're getting lower. Well, Chicago streets were especially lonely in the early morning hours today because few of you are going to deal with the snow and the biting wind. Now, it's taken well into the morning for snow to accumulate in the warm heart of downtown Chicago, but in places outside the city, western and southwestern suburbs especially, your snow totals are upwards of about 6 inches so far. We do expect a few more hours of steady snowfall and a few more inches of accumulation. Don't forget the winds will be gusting 40 to 50 miles per hour. Blowing and drifting will definitely be a concern today. If you don't have to travel, don't do it. East-West Tollway is very slushy. Northwest Tollway, Interstate 80, just to name a few locations where you will find, without a doubt, wintry traveling conditions. Here's the big picture. We have intense low pressure right around Toledo, Ohio. On the cold side, this is where the snow is falling from Traverse City and the Mackinac Bridge down through Grand Rapids and Muskegon. Heavy snow still, Chicago. Also Champaign-Urbana, and light to moderate snow in St. Louis. Notice the isobars in here are tightly packed. There is a strong pressure gradient between the low and the high pressure system, which is dropping down out of southern Canada. And again, just during the last hour, a wind gust of 44 miles per hour in Chicago, nearly that strong in Muskegon, Michigan, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and also back here in eastern Iowa. Even though the snow has stopped, the winds are gusting, and many highways remain closed, even though the skies have cleared or are in the process of clearing. Great Lakes radar, the rain snow line right now about the thumb of Michigan through just west of Lansing, down into northwestern Indiana through about St. Louis. Pockets of heavy snow through here. Now, it's still raining in Cleveland and Detroit, but we do expect a changeover later on today. From Muskegon to Chicago, heavy snow, especially on the south side of the Windy City. Out here in LaSalle County, 6-inch accumulations. For you folks in Aurora and Elgin, anywhere from 3 to 6 inches of accumulation. At Peoria, you've been seeing substantial snow. Now notice the snow ends quickly from about just a little northwest of Milwaukee down through Galesburg. Out here, no more than a few flurries. And we do expect this band of snow to advance gradually southeast through the morning, and the snow will taper off, but not before another few inches of accumulation. Heaviest totals from now to midnight in this area, central lower Michigan, to northwest Indiana and extreme east central Illinois. By the way, lake snows may develop south of Lake Michigan this afternoon and this evening, and also over upper Michigan. That's where some of the heaviest accumulations are expected. Beautiful storm on the infrared satellite picture. Low pressure center in here. Cold front sweeping the eastern seaboard. Will's going to tell you more about that, the effects of that cold front, in just a moment. 30 in Chicago. That's down a couple of degrees from last hour. And the temperature continues to sink as the winds pick up out of the north. And look at this cold Arctic air. It's 9 in Lincoln, and it's 5 below zero in Bismarck. You combine that with these strong winds, which are difficult to see, but they're in the 25 to 40 mile per hour range, and wind chills are very low. Minus 30 in Lincoln and Omaha, 35 below Sioux Falls, almost 40 below in Fargo, North Dakota. Still above zero in Chicago, but your wind chills will be dipping below the zero mark as the day unfolds. So once again, snow tapering off here, snow developing near Detroit, Toledo, and Indianapolis. Snow's ended in Iowa and Nebraska, as well as Missouri. But just a few things. In Iowa, dozens of roads statewide remain closed. Others are just down to one lane. Road crews are having a tough time clearing the roads out. Travel still not recommended in Iowa. And in Nebraska, Interstate 80 from North Platte east to Greenwood, the Greenwood exit remains closed at this hour. I-80 has been closed, by the way, since Saturday evening, and it may be a while before that main interstate in Nebraska is reopened. 12-foot snow drifts, 1.5 foot snow totals from that part of the lower 48. Well, that's an update on the snow, the cold, and the wind. Don't forget, if you're online, you can stop by weather.com. Now we talk about the warm side of the storm, the eastern seaboard. Let's go back to Will in the studio for more on that. Will?
Thanks a lot, Rick. As the Midwest is being hit with a snowstorm, the northeastern part of the country in the warm sector of this storm system is about to get a lengthy round of heavy rainfall, possibly severe weather beginning late this morning through this afternoon. We can show you what's been happening right now. Here's a look at the satellite picture, and we're going to be watching first of all the southeastern part of the country where we're watching.